All across the globe, each nation's military attempts to outdo their rival when it comes to outfitting their soldiers. As such, they can spend an absolute fortune on their country's military uniform, as well as the incredible equipment they use on the battlefield, many of which looks like it was made in a sci-fi film. Today, we're going to look at the most expensive examples of military gear from all over the world, from the UK Royal Guard to the futuristic weapon deterrent in Russia, to robots being used in the US, and many more. So, let's get started. We kick off with a look at the Royal Guard, also known as the Queen's Guard in the UK. Their role is to protect the residents of wherever the Queen is currently positioned. They're known for the red outfits and the massive fur headdress called a busby hat. The hats the Guards use are in fact made with real Canadian black bear fur. In the past, the British Army has looked into developing a synthetic fur version. However, the synthetic fur loses its shape in strong winds and can get waterlogged when it rains. The bear fur doesn't have this issue, but of course animal activists aren't too pleased that the Guard is still using real fur. From 2008 to 2015, the cost of the busby hats shot up by 500%. The Army was purchasing caps directly from Canada. In 2008, they spent £31,319, or $41,255 on just 35 caps. In 2015, it cost £149,379, or $196,747 for 122 caps. During the space of 7 years, the UK spent nearly £1 million, or $1.32 million on just hats. Since 2002 to 2017, the U.S. Army is reported to have spent $132 billion to help outfit the Afghanistan Army and security forces. But by 2017, news broke that the U.S. had splashed a lot of cash on just uniforms for Afghanistan. $28 million to be precise. This expenditure was discovered by John Sopko, the Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction. But to make matters worse, the camouflage pattern in the uniform was made for woodland areas. Out of the whole country, only 2.1% of Afghanistan has woodland and forest areas, essentially making the camouflage pattern pointless most of the time. To make matters even more worse, which is somehow possible, studies found that the poorly chosen pattern will actually make the soldiers stand out more, which is the opposite of what an army wants. Hello? Sopko also discovered that the U.S. government already owned appropriate camouflage patterns that wouldn't have cost the taxpayers millions. Sopko accused the Minister of Defense of choosing the pattern for fashion reasons, rather than practicality. On top of the pattern, the uniforms also had buttons removed in favor of zippers, rising the cost even more. L3 Harris Technologies is a company that specializes in defense tech. In 2019, it's reported they brought in a revenue of $17 billion. Well, L3 Harris Technologies teamed up with the U.S. Army to create a particular item. The company is reported to have received $442 million under another transaction authority order. As part of this deal, L3 Harris Technologies would create the Enhanced Night Vision Goggle Binocular for the Army. This headset is said to help the soldier with situational awareness. Imagery and data directly from the battlefield is directly uploaded into the goggles. As such, the soldier will see this information while in the field. As per the press release by L3 Harris Technology, quote, "The system includes a new high-resolution display and an embedded soldier wireless personal data network, rapid target acquisition, and augmented reality algorithms to interface with the Army's Net Warrior. On top of this, the goggles and the advanced headset will also link up with the sights of the soldier's weapon. As such, this nifty piece of equipment can increase accuracy in the field and let soldiers efficiently attack behind cover." Lockheed Martin is one of the biggest defense companies in the U.S. For years, they've been playing with the idea of creating an exoskeleton for the Army soldiers. No, not like Marvel's Iron Man, we're not quite there yet. Instead, a product that can help the soldiers lift heavy items and continue physical tasks longer without rest. One of the exoskeletons that Lockheed created was the Onyx. The Onyx, no relation to the Pokémon, is used on the soldier's lower half. It uses various sensors in the feet, hips, and knees that are directly linked to artificial intelligence. The AI is able to predict the soldier's movements and adjust accordingly. In a trial, a soldier was given a 185-pound bar to squat with. They managed 25 squats. The following day, with the Onyx attached, the soldier made 72 squats before the team asked them to stop. Essentially, the Onyx manages to reduce the energy used in various physical tasks. In 2018, Lockheed Martin was provided a 2-year contract by the the U.S. Navy to develop Onyx to the tune of $6.9 million. The Long-Range Acoustic Device, or LRAD, has seen a rise in publicity this year. It's a sound system that can also be used as a sonic weapon. When being used as a weapon, it directs high decibel noise towards a target. The sound is said to make the target extremely uncomfortable. It's even been claimed it can induce pain in the target. Current LRADs are big, cumbersome devices that take up a lot of space. In 2019, Chinese scientists were developing a handheld version to make it more portable for law enforcement. The device is said to cause targets' organs to vibrate, leaving the target with extreme discomfort. Also, in 2019, authorities in Newport Beach in California decided to replace their rusted tsunami alarms along the Balboa Peninsula. In their place, they're going to install 3 LRAD devices with a cost of $200,000. As such, if there is an incoming tsunami, the authorities can still use the LRADs to advise citizens, but they can also be used as a deterrent in riots. In 2015, it was announced that the UK government was looking to outfit the British Army with a project called the Future Soldier Vision. One of the companies involved in its development is Systems Engineering and Assessment, or SEA. Their parent company, Cohort, signed a deal with the Army in 2015 at the cost of £11.2 million, or around $14.8 million. The FSV project is said to modernize the British Army. The kit features a smartwatch that will aid in communication in the field, as well as keep track of the soldiers' biometric data. There will be a smart glass attached to the helmet that will provide an up-to-date heads-up display on their surroundings. The helmet will also feature a camera that the unit's commander will be able to look through for tactical information. In order to protect the ears of the soldiers, the helmet will also have bone-conducting headphones. The helmet is essentially a computer rather than just offering protection. The customizable segmented armor also has sensors to aid in survivability and provide situational awareness. In not too long, the U.S. could soon be regularly accompanied by a robot when in the field. The Modular Advanced Armed Robotics System, or MARS, is currently being developed by the British-based company Kinetic. The MARS was created for reconnaissance, surveillance, and target acquisition. Its battery can last up to 12 hours at a time. The MARS can also go up to 7 miles per hour and travel up to 3,280 feet away from the person controlling it. The robot is typically mounted with an M240B and M203 grenade launcher. However, the MARS can be configured for non-lethal missions as well. In that case, the grenade launcher will fire buckshot, sponge, or tear gas instead. The weaponry can be completely replaced for a manipulator arm in order to drag or carry heavy objects. The MARS will also feature a siren, a loudspeaker, a laser dazzler, and a weapon fire detection system. There's also an AI that allows the MARS to follow troops during action. Fear not, the weapons are controlled by a human. In 2013, one of the versions of the MARS had a base price of $300,000 each. In 2020, protesters erupted across the U.S. after the fatal arrest of George Floyd. The police were called in to quash the reaction. Many people around the world noticed the officers decked out in military gear. The police had tear gas, rubber bullets, helicopters, vehicles that resembled tanks, body armor, and many more equipment that you'd expect to see on the battlefield. The reason for this is that the Defense Department has been using the 1033 program to provide local enforcements across the U.S. with second-hand military equipment since 1990. Also known as the LESO program, 8,000 police forces benefited. A third of the equipment sent is said to have been brand new. The cost of the equipment handed over is reported to have amounted to an astonishing $7.4 billion. In 2013 alone, $449 million worth of gear was transferred. As such, it makes the police in America one of the most expensively equipped agencies in the country. The most commonly requested item as part of this process is ammunition, with rain gear, medical supplies, sandbags, and various other items also being commonly requested. In 2004, the U.S. Army grabbed the attention of the public on the announcement of the Universal Camouflage Pattern. At the time, the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan were underway. As such, the Army was using 2 different patterns in the regions, one for woodlands, the other for desert. Looking for a pattern that could be used in various climates, the UCP was created. As then, the pattern would actually be good value for money if it can be used in many varied areas. What really grabbed the attention was the pixelated design. The cost of this pattern came to a startling $5 billion. Almost immediately, the UCP was a colossal failure. It didn't help blend the soldiers into the terrain. In fact, it made them stand out more. Fearing for the safety of their soldiers, the U.S. Army began providing soldiers with uniforms that used a pattern called multicam instead. By 2014, the UCP was officially discontinued and the search for a new pattern was underway. The following year, the operational camouflage pattern was selected. It's still being used today. Over in Russia during 2019, they showcased a countermeasure system on the naval fleet that's called the 5P42 fill-in, nicknamed Eagle Owl. The 5P42 fill-in is a visual optical interface item that fires out a beam of powerful light as sort of a strobe effect. This light stops the enemy from being able to accurately target them. On top of this, in trials, half the people that experienced the light were said to be nauseated, disoriented, and dizzy, while some of the people also had hallucinations. The device can affect night vision technology for up to 3.1 miles and hinder soldiers up to a range of 1.3 miles. The 5P42 fill-in is essentially a type of dazzler weapon. These are common types in security forces around the world. However, they are often far smaller with a limited range. The U.S. has their own laser firing countermeasure coming into use. Lockheed Martin helped develop the Helios. It's able to take out unmanned drones and burn small boats. It can also bind incoming drones rather than damage them. The initial contract for 2 Helios systems came to $150 million, with further options amounting to nearly $943 million. And that's it. Which of these uniforms or equipment impress you the most? Let us know in the comments. If you like the video and want to see more, please like, share, and subscribe. All these actions really help us out. Finally, thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time.